Okay, we are recording. Hello, Heather.
Hello, Scott.
So we got the duo of the Crone Zone ladies here for a past life Akashic reading. I hope
Right.
this goes wonderful. I
Me
always,
too.
I always enjoy getting into past lives and Akashic readings. It's very fascinating. Just sense where on earth we need to go for you and knowledge too. We've all been very fascinating of find different things in the universe I've never heard about and sensed. Um, I know I briefly tacked into things with you, like this one place I was seeing. I can't remember when we were doing it. Maybe it was on one of your streams, but it was seeing that Lake Victoria in South Africa or Africa.
Right.
And it was like another ancient civilization, and but there was like wars going on or something. So I don't think we need to tap into that again. But it was pretty interesting because I was seeing, like water, and there's also a volcano there or a mountain, and to me it felt like another like a Mount Shasta area. A lot of energy there, so that was pretty neat getting into. So before we started recording, we did a little Earth and Universe prayer and get in that energy, and let's see where we need to go. And let's see, yeah, I'll just sense how long your soul's been around on Earth. We'll start there, and then lives, and then I'll see what kind of angels are around you, and I'll do that as I write because it helps the connection. Okay, first, how many Earth lives have you been around? I'm seeing 21,500.
Wow.
That's about when you started, and that for all these old souls that have been around the block and intuitives, it seems to be pretty close to the normal. Whoa.
Sorry. Airplane.
It seems to be pretty close to the normal. Um,
Hmm.
Around that time, one person I was sensing was maybe like 7,000 years earlier. Um, so far, only one person I've sensed is a young soul, which started maybe 4 or 5 thousand years ago.
Yeah.
But everyone I've tapped in so far has been around that time frame. And according to our great friend Bob, he said I was just under that. So this makes a lot of sense.
Hmm.
Okay, how many how many lives have been? It's around 180, and that seems about right too. Maybe a little more. It's like between 180 and 190, male and female. It feels pretty equal. There's a few more male lives, just a few, not many. So we're looking at 95 to 85, something like that. Um, Intuitive lives, about 15. So I'm seeing like about 15 lives where you were an actual connector to spirit, sensed universal energies. Um, about 50 were connected. So there's a difference. I sense a difference between actual receiver of knowledge and being spiritually aware, right?
Hmm.
So you can be in lives where you believe in a source and a God, but not actually have a connection, just an intuitive. So I'm
Right.
getting like about 50 of those. So we all got to go through a lot of things, throughout all our lives of not being aware, you know,
Hmm.
having that ego and not believing in unconditional love for others. We gotta live and experience.
Right.
Um, was there anything else there? So obviously, when we don't really need to talk about it unless it comes in, but anyone that's over 10,000 plus lives has been a Lemurian or Atlantean, that kind of thing. Um, but we'll see what comes in. Okay, I'm going to focus on guides. Okay. Okay, I see a male and female energy for your Akashic guides. Um, to me, they appear both dark haired. That doesn't really matter. I mean, they're just entities, but it may represent something to you because those always just, they show me some kind of image, you know, even though they're just never living beings of what I
Mm.
see. Who else is around you? And then there's two others. Um, there's a female I see that brings knowledge from the universe now for you. There's a male energy, never living. The female may have been living. This male, this male has a angelic feel to him, um, like a wise source from way back. Um, but he helps you on your current path of what you're going through in your later life here. So this would be the one that would um, give you much sense and direction. And this female, gosh, it doesn't it doesn't feel like a family member or anything to me, but I do sense a life, and it has lived many lives. But it's been a long time, maybe 200 some years. So where's this
Wow.
connection come from? Has anyone mentioned anything about a female dominant guide for you?
No, I wondered when you said it whether it was my great great grandmother because she's contacted me. But
Yeah, I do sense she's contacted you, you know,
uh-huh.
um, but not as a guide. More of a, how do I say this? More as comfort and knowledge, that kind of
Yeah,
feeling. But this,
yeah.
but this female is the one that brings your connection to spirit and current, knowledge and inspiration. Where is she connected to? Where is she connected to? There's, there's some kind of reference to Egypt, like Egyptian knowledge. This guide.
Yeah, I was going to ask about.
Um,
I know I've lived then, but I don't know anything about it.
yeah. Do you ever sense any names for your guides? Because it feels like a C name, like Cassandra or something in that realm. But it feels Egyptian, whatever C name might be an Egyptian kind of name. But um,
More like Casio.
like what?
Casio.
something like that. Yeah, not getting an image of like a priestess or anything like that. Any kind of crowns or anything. It just seems to be a a guide energy soul that knows about the earth, things that happened. Very wise. It's all
Yeah.
I'm really sensing there. So yeah. Okay. So that's that. Okay. Where do I need to go? Okay. This is strange. When I did Priscilla's, I was seeing a railroad in Pennsylvania. I think you were on the same railroad.
Wouldn't be a bit surprised. I know we've been together a lot.
You have been together a lot. They're showing me Pennsylvania too. I think you guys might have been hopping trains together. It's really strange. It's immediately the first thing they show me. It's free. Yeah, there's adventure, just trying to survive and live. It's almost like two buddies just doing hopscotch. They're showing they're showing me like hand in hand, and you guys are just skipping along and feeling like real close buddies. That's really really interesting. So I just wanted to bring in that reference, and that was probably when did I say late 1800s because that's when we looked up. We found the railroad was being built about 1850s or something like that. Okay. For some reason, I'm seeing San Antonio, Texas. Have you ever lived in Texas?
In Texas?
Yeah, or
Yeah,
been
with
there
her. Yeah, I used to teach there too.
in Texas?
Moved down there for for a job.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we moved we from Texas. That's where we moved from to come to Key West.
Oh crazy.
Met in Texas.
Um, but wait a minute. Is that where the Alamo is from?
Yes.
Okay, I'm being shown the Alamo. This is before. So there's something reference of the Alamo, uh, the fighting and whatnot there. Yeah, that's what all they're showing me there is just part of that fighting. I think you were feeling a white man.
Yeah.
Um, and I just don't want to get much in detail because it's not good. Just sense that, but that's the reference they're giving me, and they showed me San Antonio. Yeah, weird.
Yeah. I've been
Okay.
down there too. I've seen
Oh, it's amazing
it.
how you been there, and this comes in.
Yeah.
Okay. Now they're showing me one of the Egyptian pharaohs. I think it was Anakton or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm showing you were a man, and you were like one of the um, kind of like royal guard. You were
Mm-hmm.
like part of his entourage. feeling. Um, Not like a guard, but kind of like in the cabinet feeling. Like you're
Yeah.
you're part of it. It's kind of like a warrior dress. Um, it kind of gave me the reference of like if you've seen the Ten Commandments or whatever. How they had the short skirt kind of thing. And
Yeah.
so it's like a warrior dress I'm being shown. Um, Kind of like a almost like a slave type boss. Like you would get orders and you would tell people what to do as far as possibly building or any kind of soldier type things. So it feels like you were in charge of kind of like that, taking orders, but you were in this entourage, seen a lot of things
Yeah.
um, on both sides of the coin, spiritual and human suffrage. I'm feeling here too, but you're more on the ego end. Feels like you enjoyed the power.
Right.
There is compassion for people, but it's almost like you weren't allowed to give compassion.
I can understand that.
You were married. You did have a bride. Hmm. There is children there, but they may not have lived long because I'm seeing images and then it kind of disappears. So
Hmm.
you may have had trouble then having luck with children surviving very long. Okay.
Oh,
It's about all I get there, but it's pretty interesting. Now they're taking me to Canada. It feels like the eastern side. I'm seeing like a lake, and this feels tribal. Um, it almost feels like a Native American society a long time ago. Um, there's, I'm not sure what district it is, but it's like the Great Lakes, and then you go up to the right a little bit. They're showing me. So there's some kind of lake here, and then there's some kind of lands here. It feels like there's got a lot of energy. Um, so they're showing me like rituals and dancing, and um, there's also some connections to um, Space Brothers, extraterrestrial type of knowledge. This maybe 1400s. This goes back a little ways. Female feels another male, a male life. You were very connected to spirit. There's there was a lot of children. There's a lot of children. I'm seeing a lot of children. I mean, it's like almost like there's no birth control. Just repopulate. but it feels very happy. There's no wars, there's no battles. It's like so something to look up. But Native American societies up in that area long back. But yeah, this is one of the lives that you had connection to spirit. Um, but this energetic area, I'm seeing extraterrestrial contact here.
Cool.
Yeah, there be ships over. To me, it feels like it's one of these energetic sources on the planet, like where a ley line might connect or something like that.
Wow.
So it's similar to that place in Africa, like Lake Victoria area. I mean, there's multiple places on the planet that have this energy, like Stonehenge or something like that, or Sedona. This is a area too. What I'm sensing here.
Hmm.
Okay. I think I need to wipe clean here because I'm drawing a blank on it. And I don't really want to go to questions already, but this is kind of strange. Let's see, you had. Okay. You've had so many lives. It's just like I don't know where to pick out where to go. Most have been inspirational here. I'm trying to centralize on something, and it's just like I'm getting glimpses here, glimpses here, glimpses here, but I'm not centralizing anything for some reason. So why don't we just go with questions that you had, and then maybe something will pop up.
Yeah, that's possible. Um, let's see. Have I ever made a past vow to suppress any of the gifts I have? And if so, what kind of vow was it? And can I get rid of it?
Okay. Did you ever have a past life where you didn't want to?
Then I vow that I would not allow those to show.
Okay. I don't sense it's anything you need to get rid of. They're showing me like an Aboriginal person.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it almost feels like slave type labor. You might have been mining or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but they're just kind of telling me there was like a rejection of everything and hatred because he had such a hard life. But it doesn't feel like a rejection of spirit. I don't think your soul has ever rejected spirit. It's more of a rejection of what life you led, right?
Right.
So I think this is in Southern Africa feeling.
That makes sense too.
I don't, yeah, I don't think as far as I'm sensing here, is I don't think a soul ever rejects knowledge. It's just the rejection of a life you led that kind of like why it's been
Yeah.
horrible. You know?
Why did I pick
Yeah,
this?
I worked hard and all I do is get put down and, cuts and pains, and it's like, what's the point? That kind of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as, it feels like a rejection of God or source or love. It's like, why do I have to be here? Why do I have to do this?
Yeah,
But
I
as
kind of
far as,
feel like I've had a few lifetimes like that.
yeah, I'm sure what you had. Okay.
Are
Any
there
other?
any are there any challenges from some other past life that I'm still dealing with?
Um, what physical, what physical ailments do you have? It feels more physical than anything.
Really? Well, right now my back is giving me problems, but generally speaking, other than hearing, I'm pretty good. Most of the times,
Hmm,
I'm have some
let's
blood
see.
pressure medicine, but
Hearing.
pretty close to death.
Okay. Are you just losing some hearing, or is it ringing?
Both.
Well,
They
okay.
keep having to increase the volume and stuff on my hearing aids, but I've got them for
Okay.
both ears. And it's been since second grade, so it's just continual.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. Um, where is this at? There is some effect from that, but I'm trying to figure out where, because this I'm being shown there's like there's some loud noises that are just constant, and it's piercing in another life, and I don't think it was on this planet. Um, I think that's part of what's affecting you as far as hearing goes, because
Hmm.
it may have been from like a nuclear type explosion, like you may have been hiding to wait it out, but this universal resonance was just constant, piercing. What I'm sensing
Yeah,
here, because I'm not seeing it here; it's somewhere
something
else.
interesting.
Because it's almost like it kind of gave me the reference of a siren or a trumpet or something just constantly playing in your ear. It's just so loud, and it feels like um, a resonance of that. I mean, it's like you couldn't even get rid of it. Um, but surviving underground didn't help long. I think this planet died from this explosion. It ruined the whole planet. It just decimated it. That's why I think it's not supposed to happen here. Any kind
Hmm.
of tampering with the universe and whatnot. So you're back. What about your back?
Are they saying what war it was?
What war?
Like the Lemurian Wars or the.
No, this was it feels like interstellar, like battle between planets kind of thing. Different races, kind of like what's going on now. No one can get
Mm,
along. Um, but one race went too far.
yeah.
Yeah. they're not showing me one or the other. I'm just seeing like different types. It's like the fight between good and evil kind of feeling.
Hmm.
Let's see. This isn't our galaxy that we know of. This is another one.
Hmm.
Um, it's really not too far away as far as galactic times. Yeah, it just feels straight out from Pluto, another galaxy there.
Wow.
Like sometimes they never reference down. Every time I see the universe, it's kind of like all the planets up, and then it's like 12 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I'm sure they're all over, but it's just the reference they give me. But it feels like 12 o'clock and next galaxy over feeling. I've sensed from other readings like Mars was once a planet that was alive and thriving, but an
That's
explosion
good.
type thing did add to there. I mean, they showed, like NASA and everything showed pictures like it looks like there's been water there with, you know, uh, trails and divots. And so now the pictures kind of look like a desert, like it could have been living, but not. So
I always wondered if they came from Mars to here, and now we're trying to go back.
to me, it's not supposed to go back. But if we
Yeah,
fix this planet, what's the point of living on Mars, right?
exactly. We already wrecked that one.
Okay. So as far as your back goes, I'm not sensing any like injuries or anything. It just feels like a lot of hard work at times. It just always carries on. Like
Yeah.
could be slave labor or like I was sensing doing mining work way back, pick an axe, and that kind of feeling. But I'm not sensing like a building fell on your back and crushed you, that kind of feeling. It just feels like
Right.
hard
Hard work.
work, hard work carried over.
Yeah.
Um, so what was that part two? You said physical, or what was that question again?
Trying to think. Let me go back to it.
Is there anything affecting you physically or spiritually? Is that what it was?
Right. Yeah. Is there anything I need to worry about or to work
Okay,
against?
spirit.
An issue or a challenge that I'm dealing with.
There seems to be a soul. It looks like a male soul that from one of your lives that likes to cause some issues.
Hmm.
Um, I think it may have been a husband that didn't go well, possessive. So you do a good job of keeping negative energy away. So it's just like this soul kind of likes to jump into your dreams,
Hmm.
um, cause some negative aspects, whatnot. But it just keep up with loving and light protection. You'll be fine. But it's just every once in a while, this this negative energy likes to play tricks on you. It feels like. But otherwise, it feels like you're doing a great job. It's just about imagining unconditional love and good sources being around you. But otherwise, but it's minute. I really don't sense anything bad. It's just like every once in a while.
Yeah.
But it feels
Sometimes,
like this feels like a male that didn't want to give up kind of feeling. It's like you can't leave me, that kind of feeling. Yeah, any other questions?
um, I seem to have an affinity with Chopin and all the music that he wrote. Is there a reason for that in past
Okay.
life?
Where was Chopin?
Chopin, he was a pianist, composer from Poland. Was
Poland.
yeah, and he lived most of his life in France.
Poland.
It, it just seems like anything that's played that he's written, I know it. Whether I've heard it or not, I know it's his stuff. It's like I know his style, and always have, even as a
Wow.
kid.
So yeah, I've heard the name. Um, so is just a composer
Hmm.
or he wrote music?
Yes, he did. He also performed it, but he wrote it. He was in the same time as Schumann, and there's a couple of them. His pieces are extremely hard to play
Okay.
because he had a hand span of greater than most people. So he wrote difficult music to play.
Was Chopin married?
No, he had a
Never married?
he had somebody who supported him, and he lived with her. Uh, George Sands, I think was her name.
Do you know the time frame?
Uh, Poland was at war with Russia. Let's see. It wasn't a world war. It was before then.
Mm-hmm.
14 to 17. I can't remember.
So it
Very,
is like
very,
14, 1500s or something like that?
yeah, something like that. Maybe even 17. I'm not sure. Let me look it up and I'll find out.
Because I'm sensing it's real close connection. Because that's why I wondered if it was known to be married or something. Because it feels like you were a companion.
A what?
A companion.
Yeah, I think. Okay, so like I could have. His the most famous companion that he had was George Sands. That's a female.
Hmm.
So I just wondered. That would
I,
make
I think
sense.
it's a. I think it's another one. I don't think it's that
Yeah.
one. I am
Okay.
sensing it as another one though. I am sensing travel.
Hmm.
So you may have traveled with or like a groupie maybe. But yeah, very connected there. I do sense intimacy.
Okay.
Um, there is. It's like you do to know the internet intimate works. Did he write music that
Yeah. He.
were that were kind of like inspiration comes from life usually, right? Was there
Hmm.
music about you know women
Uh,
or
I don't know because at that time they were writing things like polonaise, which is dance music, etudes. That it was that time period they were writing those
no?
type
Because
classical music.
I'm sensing like one of the songs was inspired by your soul.
Well, that's cool. Thank you.
I don't. It could be your favorite.
Could be.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Hmm. I just wondered because
'Cause I was
he's
sensing I couldn't get a direction on it, but I was sensing lives in that area,
yeah.
Poland, France, whatnot. But I couldn't grab it. So I was trying to sense different areas, and I'm just getting like little blips all over. I mean, like, isn't it wasn't like you were centralized. It's all over. Experienced a lot.
Yeah. Too many lives.
It really
Nothing.
feels like you've done a great job of raising your soul because
Right.
I'm not sensing a lot of you know pain or you know things to work on. You know what I
That's
mean?
good.
I mean, unlike others, it's just you're on your next step kind of feeling. You know, the ultimate the ultimate desire of a soul is to guide another.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel. You might be on that path. Next round, you might be guiding an ancestor, or a future ancestor kind of feeling.
Well, that
Just a
would be
great,
cool. Take a vacation via somebody else.
yeah. For a while, there's otherwise. It's like I've sensed, two ancestors of mine connecting and guiding with me, and it's
Mm,
pretty neat. Once their mission is done, they can come back into life or whatever. But it's pretty, like I
I
said,
always,
one was my aunt Ida, who I first seen,
hmm
and then she moved on, probably to another life or something, and now I sense my great grandmother. So it's pretty cool. It really is to be, and it feels like an honor, to guide another, to bring in that source connection.
That's cool. Yeah.
Do you have
Yeah.
another?
My mom is always with me, and now my great grandma. I never knew my grandma because she died when my mom was 8. And so I was so surprised to hear from my great grandmother who still lived in England, even though my grandmother had come over to the United States. It
Oh,
was
that's
really
so cool.
to hear her. Yeah.
Did you get that information from channeling or
No, I got
dreams?
that
Or,
actually. Priscilla channeled her.
oh, cool.
She came in and made herself known. She's a hoot. She's a character.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like I remember when my grandfather passed, I was shown the as it happened kind of dream,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like my grandmother passed of breast cancer long ago. Like so my grandfather was alone for 30 plus years, and in my dream I seen my grandmother greet him when he passed. And it's like she waited all this time just to bring him home,
Right.
and then and now I don't see her anymore, so I think she's back in another life. I can see my grandfather doing his thing, but there's an emptiness for my grandmother, so I think she just waited for him, and now she can move. So
Yeah.
it's really neat that way. Any other questions or thoughts you want me to see if I can tap into?
Let's see. Let me go back to those because I was writing down all sorts of questions. Oh, so is there any way I can integrate things better in my daily life with the spiritual life?
They're showing me stones,
Stones.
a yellow a yellow crystal. So like when you want to do a meditation or just feel better by yourself, make sure you grab a yellow crystal, whatever,
Like a
citrine,
citrine.
like a citrine kind of color. They tell me Yellowstone, yellow quartz, or anything like that will serve your highest good. Just like when when you want to get quiet or need to just do a little meditation or whatever, or want to even connect to any spirit messages, whatever. It feels like a yellow stone will help you best.
Cool.
Mm,
Because I know when I first met Priscilla and David, her husband, he had said I had to get rid of every stone I had because it was drawing too much energy from me. And now I'm being told I can go ahead and go back and pick up some. It's
huh,
really
that's strange.
exactly.
I've never heard of that one before or sensed that of anyone
Yeah.
rejecting crystals. There's plenty of energy there in crystals to take from.
Well, I had a smoky quartz that I used to wear all the time, except that when I gave it away, it was a clear quartz. It was no longer smoky.
Wow,
No sign of smoke in it at all. It was strictly clear.
that is crazy.
Uh-huh.
So you were absorbing the darkness?
Either that or it was absorbing energy from me to clear itself up. I
Hmm.
don't know. It was very, very odd. It was a very unusual looking piece of quartz. And it was very smoky when I first was given it. So it was really interesting.
That is crazy. Never heard
Yeah,
of that one.
very weird.
Well, how long ago was that?
20 years ago, 20 to 30 years. I used to have it, and then when I gave them all up, that was one that went, and it was absolutely clear. But it was very, very smoky when I first was given it. It was a present.
Okay.
And
So what was going on in your life back then that would draw different energies?
I was just beginning to wake up to all of this stuff, everything that has to
There
do
you
with
go.
spiritual.
I think that was because that's what there's always references to what's going on in your life when changes happen, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think what I sense there is that negativity or that release was coming through the crystal.
Cool.
That's what it was feeling like.
So I released it.
Yeah, you released and
And
opened up.
all right, that
Yeah.
sounds good.
It's like when, some of the worst times of our lives, like for me, was losing my family, going through the divorce.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of negative energy, sad feelings, why, you know, how to be happy again. So when we open up, everything feels better, right? So I think that was the time frame of raising your vibrations and all that
Forced the
life.
darkness away.
Life went through the crystal and then absorbed it out. But that is
Cool.
crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
It was
I mean, I had such a bad way kind of feeling to try to bust out of it 3 times. I had a cross that fell off my chain,
hmm,
not broken,
not broken, just fell off.
just fell off. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I'm
Yeah.
just, I went to like a store to get some products for the farm, came back at, sat down, and all of a sudden I felt something fall behind my shirt. I'm like, my cross. So I look at my chain, still on my neck. The loop to the cross is not broken. Like, what the heck? It happened 3 times within 2 weeks. Every
You're
time I
trying
found the
to tell me
cross, it's like, how does that happen? And nothing
something.
was broken. The chain is still
Yeah.
on my neck, and I have a perfectly good loop in the cross. I'm like, it's got to be a break, right? And nothing. Just
Did
nuts.
you ever figure out what the lesson they're trying to tell you was?
don't be depressed. Life is life is
Okay.
good. You're just going through a challenge. Rise up, and then because I mean it was a bad time. Missed my
Yeah.
kids, missed what I had. Finances are going to change. You don't have two incomes in a household. All that. It was just
Hmm.
a dark time, and just
Right.
it's just part of being happier for existing, and that you have your children and you have a job and you'll get through it. So
Yeah.
I think that was
I have
part of it.
things, yeah, I have things happen in threes.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah, I never thought of that, but everything happens in threes.
If I
So when
have
I
it
get,
3 times, I'm like, okay, what? What am I supposed to learn here?
yeah, I mean, every
Where did
time I
I?
was farming, every
Yeah.
time when I was farming, if let's say something breaks, I'm like, all right, get the other two over with too.
Yeah.
Like a machinery breaks, I got to fix it. Then a cow will slip and I have to get rid of her. She can't walk anymore or something else, is always happening in threes. Guarantee it. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
thank God that's over. you know?
I was married to a farmer, and he used to complain every day about everything that happened. And I'm going, I give you 3 days of nothing happening before you say you're bored.
yeah. But if you're farming, you really don't want things to go bad because it takes a long time to fix things.
That's right. But on the other hand, maybe you don't want so many, but you need something to keep things interesting.
Way too interesting farming.
Right. I know. I know.
Like me now working for someone else, if a truck breaks or a reefer doesn't work, it's their problem. It's not my
It's
problem.
their
It's
problem.
an
It's less.
inconvenience for me, but it's
Hmm.
all good there. Um, any other senses you want me to try to tap into? Any hits where you've been, or
Um, I'm just. Is there a lifetime that had something to do with lack of freedom, or lack of substance to keep going easily? Is there something that I need to do to fix that?
okay? Um, I'm getting yes, of course, but there's not. I mean, we're actually in a better time because there is no lack. The lack
True.
is in our mind.
True.
When we're in that loving space and unconditional love and compassion for all human beings, we have an we have a higher vibration and we can create what we need to create. Back in the 1400s, there probably wasn't a lottery ticket you can buy, to make things easier. You
Right.
know, it's trading goods, to survive in simple times, whatever it may be. Or you could be in a war and fighting with a sword or whatever. But um, like I said, it's definitely an easier time to be tapping into more. There is no lack, but I was seeing something and then I went on a rant. repeat the question again about lack.
About lack of freedom, or what do I need to do to readjust that feeling of lack?
Okay.
Is there a lifetime that it came from?
Multiple lifetimes. But some reason they're showing me a little girl, and it's an early death. There's there's no security, right?
Hmm.
There's no freedom. Um, just like poor. You don't know where the next meal is going to come from. There's no support, and life ended early.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, like I said, what I find right away is there's no lack in this go around. Unless you create that lack.
Right.
So past influences of lack are non-existent now unless you make it so,
Right.
right?
Okay.
So most of the lack has usually been young lives of what I'm being shown. You know, being a child or being a child slave or no respect from parents or whatever, or being sheltered. There's never really been any lack I'm showing as an adult. You've always had a mission here and there, whether it be a warrior, composer, spiritual teacher. There's always been a mission, but the only lack has always been as a child what I'm being shown.
Okay. Yeah,
Because you
that
haven't because you haven't breaking free, you know, into the adult world to change, right? To create your own destiny. Because when you're young, you rely on others to grow.
true.
So they're showing me a lot of children problems, to get past that stage of adulthood to create your own destiny. That's
Right.
that's the lack I'm showing, and you well past that, so you're good there.
Do
So
you do you have any sense as to why I'm here this time, and what I need to do with the purpose?
I'm seeing the sunshine. So
Cool.
it's just like just keep expanding your light. Expand your light through people. It's just live your best life and touch those who you need to touch. Because they're showing me, light expansion.
Cool.
That's all it is. Just expand your light and touch those who need to touch, whether it's at the store, through the internet, vacations. Just continue spreading your light. That's all,
Awesome.
that's all it's about. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you. That makes a lot.
Keep it going.
Yep.
Yeah, let's see, how many, I think you and Priscilla seem to have like about 9 lives together, what I'm getting.
Okay. Yeah, that would sound right.
Yeah, it's been
Well,
all
we
over the world. Um,
some kind of a travel group that we all go at the same time.
yeah, whole family.
Yeah.
Yeah, Africa or Pennsylvania. She might have even been up in that Canada tribe there too.
Hmm.
Um, England area, I'm sensing. France, France area back. It feels like maybe 1200s.
Cool. Yeah, I
Um,
know we've been together a lot.
yeah, you might have. It might have even been Mesopotamia era there too in that civilization. You're showing me like Iran, Pakistan area. Uh, like 2800 BC feeling.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
you bounced around. Um, I think the most break has maybe been 500 years, kind of
huh.
feeling. Yeah, you haven't been apart very long. You may, or like five lifetimes, and then you come back to each other.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
It's very
Full,
cool.
full companions. Whenever you need what do you want to call it? Need a resonance. You know, someone. It's almost like um a soulmate kind of feeling. You know,
Hmm.
you just connect. You lean on each other. You know, you come together when you need to come together.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You thrive off of
Exactly.
each other.
Yeah.
I think you can like bounce messages off of each other. You ever
Yeah.
test
There
each
are times
other
we
with
do. Yeah.
yeah, it's like spiritual bounce kind of feeling.
Yeah. That's cool.
Pretty cool. Anything else?
No, I can't think of anything more.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I mean, there's been others. I just there's you just feel like your soul is doing great work. I mean, there's no real booming knowledge that you needed to know. Just been
Great.
lovely, lovely being in your energy.
Oh, thank you. It's
So, everyone who may watch this, check out the Crone Zone, ladies.
mhm,
What's your conversations with the ancients, right?
correct.
Yeah, and I join
Although
you guys every
we,
once in a while.
it's not us.
What's that?
Although we are ancient, it's not us. We're talking about ancients up there.
Yeah, correct.
So,
So it's been a blessing today, and take
thank you so
care.
much. You've been
Bye.
so informative. It's answered a lot of questions and helped me a whole lot. Thank you so
Excellent.
much.
Love to you.
Love to you too.
Bye.